Yo, what's up guys? It's John from PromoWeapon, and I've got something in store that's going to make your color separation lives so much easier. Stay tuned. This one is going to be for the screen print crew. So at the video on top of my screen here, I'm on YouTube, is my old video, Easy Simulated Process Color Separations in Photoshop. It got pretty good traction. I had a lot of feedback. That was awesome. Thank you guys. So I'm back today with a tool that's going to simplify this whole process. It is an action in Photoshop that I've created called Ink Assassin, because we're going to assassinate some ink, I guess. Alright, so without further ado, if that sounds cool to you, let's dive right in and open up the Photoshop and we'll check this thing out. Let's open something. Let's open this one. Dead beauty. Okay, so over here in the actions panel, you'll see Ink Assassin at the very bottom. That's my action. If you open that up, you'll see we have all kinds of cool stuff in here, man. Separations for transparent background, separations for black background, separations for white background, choke white underbase, merging colors to cut down on color, grayscale, and the coolest thing about this software, guys, is right here, halftone it. I have various LPIs or dot frequencies here we can print at 35, 40, 45, 50, depending on what you want your dot size to be. And finally one down here called layer it, and we'll get to what that does here in a little bit, but let's work on it with this graphic we have right here. Now you could take a graphic like this. This is on transparent, so let's go ahead and stick with that. And this is kind of the same method as we did in the video, only this time we're going to pull from like stock colors instead of going to pick our own colors with the color picker, which we can do after the fact, but check this out. So we pull up an image with a transparent background. Preferably that's what you have, because that way you can generate a white underbase and a black for detail. But this is going to go, because if you have a transparent background, you can go on any color shirt because you have the white and the black. So, but anyway, we're gonna step this out. So with a transparent background, we go over here to Sepit Transparent BG background, click it, click play, and boom, just like that, we get our separations. Now, through each step of this action, I got pop-ups. They're gonna explain to you what steps to take and what to do next, okay? So this one, for example, if we flip over to our channels panel, well, let's read this first. Okay, white. Be sure to run the choke it white underbase action if you will be using it before you start deleting channels or before proceeding to the grayscale it action, for those of you who will be printing this directly out of Photoshop. Now, that said, I got a lot of questions about that. How do I print this straight out of Photoshop? How do I get the halftones in Photoshop? Because I don't have a rip. And I have a video about that as well, which I'll link to or throw a card up to or something. But anyway, okay, so it says now if you want is the time to merge your cyan blue or your red magenta to cut down on colors, and that's over here. IA, merge it. And after that, you're safe to delete any unwanted colors or colors you're not going to be using, or any channels that came out blank because you didn't have those colors in your artwork. And we're going to adjust the levels. And it says, after we're done adjusting our levels, our ink levels in the channels panel, then we can go ahead and delete our RGB and our shirt color and export this. I know a lot of you guys like to take your art into Illustrator and separate it out in there. But if you plan on printing this straight from Photoshop, after adjusting your levels, please delete the RGB channels and the shirt channel and then run the action called grayscale it. That's what we're going to do. So continue, pop over here to the channels panel. Alright, so you can see here we've got our separations automatically, and we got our RGBs on top, of course. We've got our shirt color here, and we can turn on our other colors to see what we got. Now I'll tell you what's going to be helpful. Let's make a copy of this, pull this down, duplicate it, fine, pull this over here, pull this up so we can see what we're working with. Okay, so over here I'm going to go ahead and turn on the RGBs, turn off all of these. That's what I want. That's the original on the left. This is what we're going to be working with on the right with our separations. It's always good to have a comparison. Alright, so here we are. Turn those off. Now we need to do a couple things. This is why I said adjust your levels and things like that before you start deleting anything. So we need to obviously tone down the white base. Well, first let's choke the white base, because when it generates the white base, it's not choked in at all. So I have an action over here within Ink Assassin that is choke it. Choke it, white base. Alright, so hit that, hit play button, and boom, you can see over here to the right, it generated us a white base choked. And that just chokes the white base in by 1 pixel, so you don't have that overhang or that white stuff hanging out underneath your graphic. I'm going to delete my original white base. You don't have to delete yours, you can keep them both and see which one you like better or whatever. Alright, so we've got our white base choked in, and I'll show you that real quick. I'm going to take everything down but the red and the white and maybe the magenta. And pop in here to this. Now, I don't know if you can see this here, but right on the very edge is that kind of darker maroonish color. That's where the magenta and the red is kind of hanging off of the white. That's how you can tell that white is choked in just a little bit, and that's what we want. Okay, let's turn these back on and reset that. All right. So let us turn our white base down a little bit, and we're going to do that with levels. That's Control Command L, and we're going to pull this mid-tone one down so we're not so glaringly bright, you know what I mean? I'm liking the look of that. That's okay, that. Alright, so we got white, black, red, yellow, green, blue, and magenta. So what I'm going to do is, if this is going on a black shirt, you don't have to use this black if you don't want to. You can just turn it off. And to compensate for turning it off, you can turn down your white base even more with levels. Kind of like so. That saves you on a color. Let's see. Let's try to aim for this purpley color over here, okay? So that's going to be like the red. I want to keep the red because there's red in her skin. You can see her on the original, she's a little bit more pink. She's got kind of some pink tones. So we want to keep the red for that. I think I will merge the cyan and the blue because there's mostly green in here. So to do that, we just come over here to our action, Ink Assassin, and come down to merge it, cyan blue, click it, and click play. And that's going to show you your new channel, your cyan blue over here to the right bottom, excuse me. And then we can turn these back on. And we're actually going to delete the cyan and the spot blue now because we don't need them. And boom, we just saved us a color. Alright, now let's do the magenta. And if you want to get closer to that color over there, just pick the color. So double click your magenta, click the color chip, and just play around with the color until it gets closer to, that's pretty close. Something like, I don't know, you can go a little brighter. It's up to you, pick a color, any color, and okay that. And already guys, I mean, okay, we're done, print it. I'm just kidding. Alright, so let's, if we see we need a little bit more green over here maybe, so we're going to click on our spot green channel, go levels, Control Command L, and pull the mid-tone slider up until you're satisfied with the green. I like that, that kind of pops. That's amazing. Okay. Alright, yellow, you can play with it. Control Command L for levels. Just pull it up or down till you get something you like, or pull it all the way out and decide you don't want it at all, because I don't even think I'm going to use it. I'm going to save another color. I'm going to delete the spot yellow. Now we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors, which is pretty decent, right? Now if you wanted to, if you absolutely were hurting for screens or you didn't have the space, you could get rid of that blue. It's going to just green everything out like that. But if the customer's okay with that and you're okay with that, let it go. I'm going to keep it for now. All right, so once we're happy with that, we could tweak it further. And just remember, play with your levels. Let's go to the red. Control Command L, levels, and pull that up or down, depending on how pale you want the girl to be. If you want to throw more pink in there and make her a little bit more pink, I'm liking that. Maybe it's a bit much. Let's take it down a bit. There we go. And you can turn it on or off. Whoa, super dead girl. Now she really is a dead beauty. All right, so red. All right, so I think we're gonna get away with what, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 colors. And so now we can get rid of our. We don't need the RGBs or the shirt color anymore, because let's say we're happy with this, we're gonna roll with this, okay? So we don't even need this other original file open anymore, because we're gonna go with this one. Pull it back up here. Delete these, delete the shirt. And now we're just left with our channels. That's a cool trick. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you hold down on the eyeball, let's say I want to turn this off, and hold it down and just move your mouse up, it will automatically turn all those on or off. Same way here, turn these on, hold it down, turn the rest of them on. Neat. I did not know that until yesterday, which is crazy because I've been working in Photoshop for like 20 years. Okay, so now, next step, we're going to grayscale these. Note, if you're going to export this to Illustrator, you're done here. Take this, export it, go to File, Save As, and pick DCS 2.0, and you can put that straight into Illustrator and it will read your spot colors. Put it over whatever kind of template you have in there. That's usually what people do. They have some kind of template with the registration marks, like on some Illustrator template. So anyway, we're going to go with the print straight out of Photoshop route. For those of you that don't have, maybe you don't even have Illustrator or you don't have a RIP, we're going to go the whole way. We're going to create the halftones, add the registration, so stick with me. And I know you don't have this action, but watching me do this is going to determine whether you feel like you need the action or whether you want the action. Alright, so grayscale it over here. Hit play. Now this says, please follow the appropriate instructions for your method. Printing to a RIP out of Photoshop. So if you want to print out of Photoshop, but you do have a RIP that you're going to set the halftones to and all that, then hit the stop button, delete the PSD file up here on the right because it's blank anyway, and then hit the play button on the actions panel or hit the grayscale it button again to continue if your actions panel is in button mode. Alright, then hit the run button on the following pop-up window. If you're printing as halftones out of Photoshop, hit the stop button, delete the dead beauty copy PSD up here because it's blank, and choose the appropriate halftone it action for your desired dot size and press the play button. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create the halftones right here in Photoshop. So we're going to stop this. We're going to delete the dead beauty copy up here because she's blank. And then we're going to halftone this bad boy. Now I'm giving you a range of dot size options from 35 to 50 depending on how big you want your dots. I'm going to go with a 45 and I'm going to hit play. Okay, cool. So now choose each of your other grayscale separations. Those are up here along the top, each of your separations, and run the same action on each of those. Once you have them all converted to halftones, choose the action called layer it and press play, and then click the run window that pops up. These instructions are important so you do this correctly. So stop that, convert all of these files up here to halftones. I'm pointing at the screen like you're, never mind. Alright, so that one's already done. This is our blue, cyan blue. So we're going to go over here to magenta, click play, boom. And each time you do it, it's going to pop up and say, now choose each of your other separations, and do the same thing. So, spot green, play. Spot red, play. Spot black, play. It's magic. Okay, and the white base choked, play. Now we have all these converted to halftones. As we flip around them through here, boom, halftone, 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 halftone. I told you guys I was insane. So, stick with me, man. Let's get crazy. Alright, so now we've got to move on to layer it. And that's where the magic happens, and I'll show you. Let's click that and click play. And it said to click run when this pops up. That's going to do some stuff. That's going to work some magic behind the scenes. And boom! Okay, you now have a folder on your desktop called JPEG, because it generated one for you. This contains your color separations that we just converted to grayscale. Press the play button to continue, or continue to continue. And now it says we're going to bring in your grayscale separations into one file as layers. Not channels, it's going to come back in as layers. So when you hit continue, it's going to pop up a window. You're going to hit the browse button to that folder that it made for you on your desktop. So browse the JPEG folder here. There's our seps. We're just going to marquee select around them all and hit OK. And OK that. And it's going to work some more behind the scenes magic. Working magic. I'm just making stuff up, man. Alright, give that just a minute. Boom. Okay, it says great job. Now name your layers so you know what color they are, because when you bring them back in, it doesn't really know what the separations are called anymore. So we still have our open files up here along the top, so you can compare those and name your colors. And then we're going to do registration. Go and grab the registration marks from the folder. If you purchase this, then you're going to get the registration mark as well, and you can pop that on there, which we will do. And this is instructions for duplicating that for each color. So let's go. Let's go. I'm trying to move fast because I don't want to bore you, but then again, I'm trying not to move too fast because you're going to be like, what the hell is going on? So anyway, alright, let's go. Oh, let's pop over to our layers. So here's a new file that it created, untitled1. Here's the layers panel, which has our separations in it. And for some reason, it remembered the names of the files and the colors. So that's even more amazing. Now we don't need these open anymore. So close the rest of them. We don't need them anymore. No, I don't want to save it. No, I don't want to save it. No, I don't want to save it. Alright, cool. So we are left with our new untitled document with our layers. And if you click the eyeballs off, you can see each of your pretty halftones and 45 LPI. Okay, so cool. Now we're going to bring in the registration. So let's go to File. Super easy, guys. Once you do this a couple times, it's like boom, you're going to have color seps, registration ready to rock and roll in like 10 minutes or less. We're going to go to File, Place Embedded. I don't know what I did with my registration. There it is. Yeah, so it's a Photoshop file. It's just one registration mark. See, it dropped it right there in the center. And it dropped a new layer up here on top of your stack. So we're going to move that up here to the top. I need to know where I'm at here, so yeah, let's grab that. Move that up above the art. Duplicate it, assuming you want more than one, because you kind of need them. Sometimes I just don't like when Photoshop selects things I don't want it to select. Alright, so we got two registration marks. Once you're happy with the location of those, you can choose to merge those layers or not. I'm going to go ahead and merge. Control Command E to merge those. And now we need some text, because we need our colors, right? Our color names. Otherwise we don't know what we have. So grab your text tool, type in some cool text. I mean, some colored text. This is blue. We're going to do first. It's on top. Blue. If you have a specific blue, obviously you're going to write that like dark blue, light blue, midnight blue. Midnight blue. I know the font's crazy, but that's my phone buzzing. If you hear that, I'm sorry. They're just gonna have to wait. You know what? Change your font to something you can read, like a nice boring Arial. Perfect. Alright, so now that you have your registration marks and your text, your color name, copy those. Control Command J to duplicate, or right click duplicate, and pull those down below your blue layer on top of your white base layer. Obviously you can order these layers in whatever you want because it doesn't really matter, you're going to print them all out anyway. Now instead of blue, we obviously need to come in here and put white base. But not on that one because that's on top. This one. I know you can't see it because this is all turned on. There. Now move that over there. And get those in Command Control J and move those down below the white base on the black. So what you're doing is you're grouping these and you're putting them on top or above each of your color separations. Now we'll turn these off so we can see that. We'll name this black. Leave that where it is or move it over, that's your call. These, Control Command J. You see what we're doing here? And this is going to go on top of the green. And we're going to turn these off. And we're going to name this green, and then we're going to grab these two again, the text registration. So it's going to go text registration separation, text registration separation, text registration separation, until you're blue in the face. And then I don't have Tourette's, guys. I swear I don't. Green. Where were we? Okay, we got the black, we got the green. Control Command J to copy that. Pull that on top of the magenta. Turn these off so we can see. And it's kind of purpley, but you know, whatever. Name it appropriately. I'm going to call it purpley. Purpley. You guys remember Pee-wee's Playhouse? He's like, purpley! I don't know. Alright, is that our last one? No, we got red. Okay, so Control Command J, pull it down on top of the red, shut these off, and red. And dude, that's it. Save this file as something called whatever. We're gonna save it as whatever seps and print it, man. So you're just going to turn on your text, your registration, and your first color, and print. No need to go through a rip. No need to worry about your halftones because they're already halftoned. And that's it. Okay, so we printed the blue, and now we're going to turn these off and move on to the text, registration, and next color. Turn those off, move on to the text, registration, and the next color. Print, 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 print. Guys, Ink Assassin, okay? I love it. It has made my life so much easier, and I think it will make yours so much easier as well. And I'm selling it. Of course he's selling it. I have to. I spent time making it. It's taken me a long time. I would love to give it away for free, but instead of free, I'm giving it away nearly for free. It's only going to cost $14.95, guys. And I'm going to keep that price probably for like the first 100 downloads. Maybe longer. I don't know. It depends. And then the price is probably going to go up to something like $49.95. But that's still not bad. I mean, if you look at some of these stupid... Okay, some of them aren't stupid. Some of them are really awesome. But $400 or $500? I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I am not trying to get rich off you guys. I'm just trying to make a little bit of money for my time. keep the channel going, keep me inspired to make more videos for the channel, and things like that. So I'm going to drop a link to this in the description. If you want it, go grab it. Let's go, guys. All right, so I will link to I'm going to link back to the video for my old separations video if you want to do it manually. And I'm going to link to this Ink Assassin in the description. And if you have any questions about it after you've downloaded it, how to do it, how to import the action, or if you're unfamiliar with all that, just let me know, and I will help you as best I can. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for subscribing, for hanging out. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Smash the like button. I hate when people say that. But yeah, hit that like button. Give me some comments, some feedback. I'd love to hear it. And that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.